So we're asked to solve the system of quadratic linear equations, and let's start by just putting these two things into Desmos and seeing what the solution should be. So I'll pause this video while you do that. And as you can see from Desmos, the solutions where the parabola crosses the line is going to be a negative 1.56 and negative 5.56 for the first point, and the second point crosses at 2.56 and negative 1.44. So let's try to solve and see if we can get this answer algebraically. So our first step is going to be to set these two things equal to each other. So we're going to set negative 3x squared plus 4x plus 8 equal to x minus 4, so we can find at what values of x are these two equations equivalent. So the strategy then is to get this side equal to 0 by subtracting the x term and the negative 4 term from this side to the other side. So we'll say, let's divide our paper up and let's subtract x minus 4. So the parentheses here are important since we're subtracting the entire term. And then from the other side we'll do the same thing, minus x minus 4. So this is going to cancel out, and on the right side we're going to have 0. On the left side there's no x squared term, so we're going to bring this one down. 4x minus x is going to be plus 3x. 8 minus negative 4, notice how there's the two negatives, that's going to become 8 plus 4, so it's going to say 8 plus 12. So now, once we have the right side equal to 0, we can apply the quadratic formula. Remember, in the quadratic formula we need the a coefficient, the b coefficient, and the c coefficient. So if we look at the equation that we have, our a is negative 3, our b coefficient is positive 3, and our c coefficient is 12. So now let's put this into the quadratic equation. So it's opposite b, which is going to be 3, so opposite is negative 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared. B is 3, 3 squared, minus 4ac. A is negative 3, C is 12, all over 2a, so all over 2 times negative 3. And we're going to simplify this down until we have just one number inside the square root. So we're going to have negative 3 plus or minus the square root. 3 squared is 9, minus negative 4 times negative 3. That's going to give us a positive. Plus 144 all over 2 times negative 3, so all over negative 6. And then let's just add these two things together. So we're going to have negative 3 plus or minus the square root. 9 plus 144 is 153 all over negative 6. So at this point, we want to get a solution that's a decimal so we can approximate where it is on the coordinate plane. So since we got a plus or minus, let's split it off into two possible solutions. So in the calculator, so in my calculator, I can put in negative 3 plus the square root of 153. We'll hit enter, and then we'll divide that answer by negative 6. So one of the solutions is negative 1.56. So that's one of the x values where the line and the parabola intersect, which should make sense because when we put it into Desmos, that was one of the intersection points. And then we'll get the other one. We'll use the same method, but we'll do negative 3 minus. So notice how we put the minus instead. Square root 153, and we'll divide that by negative 6. So the other answer is going to be 2.56. Again, that's a solution that makes sense because that's what we got when we put into Desmos originally. So now that we have the 2x solutions, let's go ahead and do the third step. Let's do the third step, and that's to take these x values and put it into the linear equation, which is the x minus 4. So we'll start with x minus 4, and instead of x, we're going to substitute negative 1.56. So we're going to do negative 1.56 minus 4. Let's put that into the calculator. Negative 1.56 minus 4. That gives us negative 5.56. And then the other answer is going to be same the x, but we're going to put in 2.56. So it'll look like this, 2.56 minus 4. And let's put that into the calculator, 2.56 minus 4. That gives us negative 1.44. So then let's write the answers in ordered pair. So one of our answers is going to be negative 1.56 and negative 5.56. Negative 1.56 comma negative 5.56. And the other answer is going to be 2.56 and negative 1.44. 2.56, negative 1.44. And that's the 2 points where these two equations are going to intersect.